So UFC 216 was a minute ago. I have these notes that like I jot down whenever like I watch something or read something or anything that I want to speak about in on the podcast. Since I release episodes like every couple weeks, I'm not gonna just remember off the top of my head everything and anything that I want to speak about. But so I jot down these notes like UFC 216, fucking Demetrius Johnson armbar. Or speak about, what you liked about this movie or that TV show, etc. And this one is one that I saw. UFC 216 was on October 7th, 2017. And I saw this, before my India trip. So it's over a month ago already. And so I don't remember much of the card. What I definitely do remember is first off, for the main event, Tony Ferguson beating Kevin Lee, which seemed like a really close matchup. And Tony Ferguson is the interim lightweight champion, and he is that because Conor McGregor vacated the belt, and he went off to fight in two divisions and then go do the whole Floyd Mayweather thing. So technically he's like a vacant champ, they call him. And Tony Ferguson is the interim champ. And he's calling out Conor like crazy because he knows it's that's the fight. That would be a really great fight, really great matchup, and obviously it's the big money fight. And Kevin Lee was facing Tony Ferguson, which is also a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu guy under Eddie Bravo. And beat Kevin Lee in a submission. I want to say it was a rear naked choke. What I do remember from that fight is that Kevin Lee had like a staph infection, and you could see like a huge marking of it like on his chest. And I don't know much about staph, but it's from what I've heard, it like completely just drains you. Like it's common within the jiu-jitsu community because you're always like rubbing on mats and each other and fucking sharing germs and shit like that. But he had this infection which like drains the shit out of you supposedly, and like your cardio and stuff like that. And that obviously must have affected his performance to some degree. But Tony Ferguson is dope fighter anyway. Now, what I remember clearly from the card was Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg, which is what I jotted down to speak about. And I'm gonna see if I could find a clip. It shouldn't be too hard to find a clip of this online. But the way that Demetrius Johnson finished Ray Borg was like some movie type shit, like some Matrix type of thing. Demetrius Johnson in this fight broke the record for most title defenses by any champion ever in UFC history, and he in MMA history. And people argue back and forth if he's the pound for pound best ever. And he's like not a huge pay-per-view draw, and it's kind of like a mystery why, because he's literally the winningest champ ever. But he's a smaller guy. That's like the biggest like argument for it, or like the reasoning behind why he possibly doesn't sell as much as people think he should. And he's a 125-pound champ. But if you watch him fight, he's just like a wizard and completely outclasses like pretty much the entire division. Just to give you an idea, this guy Ray Borg that he fought, I'm looking at the stats now, and Demetrius Johnson landed 172 total strikes at a percentage of 82%. So he threw 212 and landed 172. And Ray Borg landed 22 and was able to throw 39. So Demetrius Johnson landed 172 total strikes, where Ray Borg landed 22. Demetrius Johnson landed or successfully completed 8 of his 8 takedown attempts, and Ray Borg successfully completed 3 out of 10 takedown attempts. So it's like a crazy mismatch for him, and it's like this with pretty much everybody that he fights. Now, the way that he ended the fight was like some sick, like if you would see it in a movie, you would be like, oh, come on, how many like strings did it take to like carry that guy in the air and make him actually do that? It's so unrealistic, etc. So what Demetrius Johnson did pretty much was, and pardon the non-technical references here because I'm just a fan, but he did some sort of like suplex thing where he grabbed Ray Borg and like threw him in the air, and then on the way down jumped up and locked in. Demetrius Johnson jumped up in the air as Ray Borg was coming down from the suplex and locked in an armbar and submitted him that way. Like they landed on the floor, the armbar was locked in, and submitted him with an armbar. It was like some flying armbar suplex type of shit that was just sick to see. And it looked crazier, I think, in like regular, like non-slow-mo. Slow-mo it's sick too, but in like regular speed, it looked just sick. It was awesome. So if you have a chance to Google it, check it out. I'm sure it's all over online, and I'm gonna try to find the clip and just add it in the episode notes for you guys to check out.